Good morning, all. My name is Engineer Dr. E.J. Nwankwo from the Civil Engineering Department, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. The title of my presentation is Feasibility of a Flow Solar Water Disinfection System. Solar water disinfection (SODIS) is a relatively new method of treating water that harnesses energy from the sun to kill pathogenic microorganisms in water. SODIS procedure is very simple. All one needs to do is feed out water of dubious microbial quality in a transparent container, especially a polyethylene terephthalic container shown in the figures, and expose it to about 6 hours of strong sunlight, after which you have water that is fit for consumption. The theory behind the disinfection mechanism is that the heating effect and the ultraviolet components of the sun combine to activate a series of pathogen inactivation processes that can destroy cell proteins and the cell DNA. So this was recognized by World Health Organization as a point-of-use water treatment method in 2007. Since then, it has been an integral part of interventions on water quality improvement and diarrhea prevention. As at the last count in 2016, there are more than 5 million people spread across 55 countries that are currently using SODIs for their daily water treatment. The focus of the problem we try to solve here is the problem of drinking water quality improvement and diarrhea prevention. This is because drinking water contaminated with microbial pathogen is a major transmission route for diarrhea diseases. Approximately 760,000 young children die annually from the symptoms of diarrhea, most of them in low and middle income countries. Figures from coverage estimates suggest that Nigeria is the foremost contributor to these deaths, with more than 80,000 deaths yearly due to lack of access to safe water and adequate sanitation. However, Blacks and co-workers made us understand that 88% of these deaths are preventable or can be prevented if we can make household water treatment such as solar water disinfection a mainstream practice. Our main objective is to assess the feasibility of a prototype SODIS system designed and fabricated by the authors using locally available materials. The system was designed to address the drawbacks of conventional SODIs, which includes small treatable volume, meaning that you have to work with so many bottles, 1.5 liter PET bottles, to have enough water for drinking in a day. The other one is the high labor demand that is associated with handling so many bottles at the same time. And there is always a risk of underexposure and incomplete treatment due to day-to-day variation in the weather. Also, a fixed system is attended to once in a while is required to prevent common application mistakes such as wrong positioning of the SODIS bottle. Also, the economic feasibility of the system was assessed by comparing the cost of fabrication with the cost of other prototype SODIS systems developed in the past. Figure 1 shows a schematic and a pictorial diagram of the prototype SODIS system. The system was named PET in series solar disinfection system, PSODIS in short, to reflect the fact that it was made of PET bottles connected in series. PSODIS was designed so that water flows from the oxygenation tank, which also doubles as the raw water reservoir, into the sedimentation basin after passing through a filtration unit. The filtration unit is made up of a funnel stuffed with a filter cloth. The oxygenation tank is an inverted 19-liter plastic polycarbonate water dispenser bottle. The mouth of the dispenser bottle is in direct contact with the water in the filtration funnel so that water level in the funnel is maintained by automatic replacement as soon as the water level reduces below the mouth of the dispenser bottle. Like this, bubbles of air are allowed into the dispenser bottle, thereby oxygenating the water. Oxygenation is actually important because the inactivation processes of SODIs have been found to depend on the level of dissolved oxygen in water. The system takes care of the colloidal particles that cause turbidity in water, either by filtration in the filtration funnel or by allowing the water to settle, allowing the particles to settle out in the quiescent condition of the sedimentation chamber before the water enters the disinfection unit. The retention time is controlled by the rates at which water is withdrawn from the clean water reservoir. The system is arranged so that as soon as water is withdrawn from the clean water reservoir, flow is instantaneously initiated by the water level difference between the sedimentation basin, which drives the flow, and the water level in the clean water reservoir. As long as the average rate at which water is withdrawn from the clean water reservoir is less than the desired flow rate, the assumption is that every slug of water that entered the disinfection unit will stay for a period greater than or equal to the desired retention time. The setup was actually operated for 2 weeks in May 2019. Samples were collected daily from the inlet and the outlet chambers for fecal coliform count. Temperature readings were taken from the standard mercury thermometer fitted to the inlet and outlet PET reactors. The fecal coliform in the inlet water was spiked by the addition of 2 to 5% raw clarified sewage obtained from the University of Nigerian wastewater treatment pond in order to maintain the population of fecal coliform within a realistic concentration. The top corks of the inlet and the outlet PET reactors featured catheter connectors that allowed standard mercury thermometer to be fitted without leakage. Table 1 shows the efficiency of pit studies at removing fecal coliform. The retention time proved critical. Regardless of variations in the weather and the inlet water quality, it was found that 1-day retention time achieved complete inactivation of fecal coliform 60% of the time, while a 2-day retention time achieved complete inactivation 100% of the time. Also, the system was able to reduce the raw water turbidity of visibly turbid water to below or close to the WHO's standard of 5 NTU, that is 5 nephelometric turbidity units. The average turbidity removal efficiency of both 1 and 2 days retention time are 87.2% and 96.1% respectively. We also found that increasing the retention time from 1 to 2 days improved turbidity removal significantly. That is from 5.96 to 3.44 NTU on average. Comparing the cost of PSODIS to 2 other prototype flow systems developed in the past, namely Spirosol and SC SODIS, showed that PSODIS is 3.2 times cheaper than Spirosol and 5.6 times cheaper than SC SODIS. We also assessed the social acceptability of the system, where we invited some women from a close-by village to have their take on the system. This is to gauge the perception of the system and its chance of diffusing into the community and becoming a mainstream practice. The purpose of the system was explained to the women, and we further delved into the scourge of diarrhea disease among under 5 children in Nigeria. To our surprise, the women downplayed the need for such a system, saying that they do not get sick drinking the water from their village stream, yet they do not have such systems. When we made vigorous efforts to connect the prevalence of under 5 diarrhea deaths with the consumption of contaminated drinking water, the women almost in unison dismissed the claim and retorted that such diarrhea deaths result from the illnesses of teething. The women's response reflects the deep-seated misconception that pervade rural communities of developing countries. Therefore, for household water treatment to become a mainstream practice, massive promotion campaign and enlightenment programs would be required to dispel certain misconceptions about the connection between untreated water, teething, and infant diarrhea. In conclusion, I would want to say that the ease of fabrication and operation, together with the water quality improvement capacity of PSODIS, has confirmed it as a feasible water treatment option suitable for developing countries, especially with the ones with abundant solar energy resource. Also, we recommend that the retention time of 2 days should be used for these studies, especially in the months around May. Also, a massive promotion campaign and enlightenment programs would be required to improve the social acceptability of study systems in general. Thank you for listening.